Jerry.
Check.
Jerry.
All right, fellas. I think we're ready to knock into this thing. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Jameson on the Rocks podcast. Today I have with me Cannon and the Boxes. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Doing great.
Glad you could be here. Jordy will be here shortly, right?
Dude, he had to teach a lesson. So he's
that's a
running
good
late.
reason. Shout out
we'll
Jordy.
allow it. We're
going to let it pass. No, I'm glad he's coming, man. I always think of you two together for the most part. For some reason, I don't know why. That's a fair thing to think,
Dude,
right?
yeah.
I feel like that's on brand, right?
Oh, yeah.
We lived together for a while.
Yeah,
so
like you guys are always together when I saw you. Yeah, it's a word. Well, thank you guys for coming in, man. I really appreciate it. I think this is like episode 105 or 104, something like that.
That's a lot of episodes, dude.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's been a long time since that number. I think you're like 6. I feel like you're episode 6.
Dude. I mean, I was talking to Aaron on the phone on the way here. It was like definitely pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's
Definitely.
another lifetime, dude.
I know,
That's
man.
Not even. I was
crazy.
I don't know
no
who
time.
I
that
was
guy
telling
was.
Cannon I didn't even know that you've been doing it for this.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I was
hype,
like,
dude. Well, I'm glad. You got a whole catalog to look through now, brother. If you're
Yeah, dude.
interested.
I'm excited to
They're
go back
good
and
too,
listen.
man.
Thank
Like
you, man. Appreciate it.
The David Barbie one, the
Yeah, that one was
Beskin
big.
one,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Park. Like, there's so many. Like, I mean, those are recent, but like,
Yeah. No,
a lot of
I'll
cool
take
shit.
that any day. Those are cool guys. I appreciate it, man. It's been a lot of fun. You were actually the first guest. I literally think you were the first guest, by the way. I always tell people that, at least. I think you were the first
I'll take it.
episode where
It's
I
the
was
truth
like,
now.
It is the truth. It is truth. I did like 5 episodes where I was just like ranking albums that I liked, and then I was like, nah, I can't do this forever. I was like, I'm gonna need to get somebody in here. And you were the only band I'd even played with at the time, so that's dope, man. It's good to have you back, is what I'm saying. That's
Thanks,
what I'm
man. Glad to be here.
saying. You've been tearing it up. You guys have been working on a lot of stuff. I've been keeping up from a distance. Kind of tell me, let's go ahead and just for starters, tell the camera your names, occupation within the band, and your age, if you don't mind.
I'm Cannon. I am 22 and I play guitar and sing and little harmonica. Been working on pedal steel, but it's very difficult.
Yeah, I hear you're in the pedal steel game now.
Dude.
I'm excited to ask you about that.
I'm trying. But no, yeah, I play guitar and sing.
Awesome.
I'm Aaron Doherty. I'm 23. I just play guitar.
Awesome, man. Love
That's
it.
all
How
you
long have you been in the
what I do.
group? I didn't realize it's been a while.
I've
since
been
seen
playing with
Cannon.
Cannon for like 6 months now.
6 months?
Yeah,
Since the beginning of the summer.
Yeah,
Kinda.
I knew that we were gonna do a tour in the summer, and like really, just because you do it, like it's like it's a big endeavor, you know what I mean? To try to
quite the
try to
escapade.
get like a run together.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I'm gonna do this and like try to go somewhere, I want to have like a group of dudes who I like would want to be with.
The homies.
Yeah, exactly. So Aaron joined us for that, and
If you don't, it makes that tour an awful lot tougher. You know what I mean? If you don't have your homies,
Luckily,
you
I
know?
haven't encountered it, you know.
Yes,
but
that's fair.
I've heard horror stories. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would.
And I think of you guys kind of in the same circles. I figured you knew each other. That's why when you told me he was coming, I was like, word. So I guess he's in the group. I haven't seen you forever, man. So like you guys play, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how have you liked joining the group? What's it been like for you? You're in a couple groups at this point, right? So is it interesting playing with Cannon?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from I usually play with Hotel Fiction.
Word. Oh, yeah, I knew
and-
that.
And that was pretty much the only group I was playing with until Cannon asked me to play with him. I fill in a couple places here and there, but it was pretty awesome. Like I was honored to be invited.
Oh, come on.
Because it was the first time anyone outside of Hotel Fiction had like asked me to play with them. Like
Gotcha.
for real.
Yeah.
And that was big for me. It meant a lot
Yeah.
because I was prior to Fiction I hadn't really played in that many bands or played out at all. So
That's awesome.
it was like a big stepping stone for me to have someone else ask me like to play with them.
That's huge, man.
Yeah.
Very well put, too.
He's eloquent, dude. Eloquent.
Eloquent with
dude,
his
Aaron's
words.
great. Aaron,
Yeah.
we played on Woo-Wog last night. We did like a live in the lobby.
Oh, is it
and,
great? I love those,
dude.
man.
So I feel like when I was a freshman and I was doing those, like I was definitely like way too in my head about it. And yesterday we showed up. I brought a couple portraits of Jesus Christ.
Let's
to
go.
just
That's
scatter.
what did it for us, I think.
I think
the
that's
vibe?
the vibe, really.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's so much fun. And
I
like,
love that.
dude, like playing to kids that you like, not kids, they're not that much younger than me.
I mean, fairly
Playing
kids. I think of
new
them as
college
kids.
students
Yeah.
that are obviously stoked about music because they're doing like
mhm.
it doesn't even matter, like even if we don't listen to the same thing or at all, because there's some very eclectic tastes out there.
Of course there is.
It's like, dude, it's cool that you're playing with people that like music, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
'Cause I feel like they respect it.
They're down for the cause there.
Exactly,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And it's interesting. What'd you think about, like, you said, when was the last time you done Woo-Wog? A couple years?
I've played it with Elijah.
Uh-huh.
Fairly
You guys did it
recently.
full band one time, right? With
Yeah,
Elijah.
yeah.
I remember that. I thought that was cool.
It's fun, dude. I like I like it over there. It's kind of
Yeah.
hit or miss. Like I'm I'm trying to trash on the Woo-Wog crew.
Of course not.
I love them. But like, it's student run.
Student radio.
You never really know how it's going to sound.
They don't have all the resources in the world.
Exactly. And there's some guy in there learning sound.
Yeah, they're figuring it out. I think last night, we hit it on the head. Like he was like, it's always like good when you show up and there's like mics pointing at amps. You're like, all right, we're going to be okay.
We're on the right track here. Okay. What did you think about your performance? Like you mentioned for a second there, like how it was different. Like think about the first time you did it to now. What's changed?
So I remember the first time I played it, I was a freshman, and
so what? 4 years ago, probably.
Yeah, okay. Like 2019 maybe. Yeah, so 4 years ago, and like. I just, you get really in your head about it because you're like, oh, it's on campus, like it's near all this stuff.
It's live on the radio.
Exactly.
Can't say profanity. What's up?
Oh, he's here.
First special guest.
For those of us listening, not on the video, Jordy Lara has joined us.
For those on Spotify.
For those on Spotify.
Yes. How you doing, brother? Good
Dude,
to see
that's the first time I'm going to be able to say that, and it's probably true. There will be at least a couple people on Spotify.
Come on. Now.
No, dude, I listen to this shit. So,
I'm glad. Words. No, bad words are welcomed here. They're encouraged.
I had to get no bad words for the radio.
Shit. How you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Pretty good.
Good. How'd your lesson go? Can you hear me?
Hey, Jordy,
for some reason, hearing things that was
hearing
in the headphones.
It kind of makes it easier to space out. It's like in-ear monitors. You guys ever wore in-ears?
Dude, only one time.
What'd you think?
I played bass with Gatlin at the Georgia Theater.
Yeah.
And it was like a last-minute gig, so we used them. And it was sick. But I just was so focused when we practiced at Nucci's, like that same day when they came in from, they were like touring. And I was so focused that I didn't really like listen to the mix because I was like, I just got to play these bass parts right.
Gotcha.
And then we got on the stage and I was like, where's the synth player? I was like, where is this coming from?
Where's the fucking bass?
It was sick. They had a really good MD, so it worked out well. Like you got to have somebody. I feel like.
Yes, you don't want to run your own in-ear monitors. That's no fun. No fun. Because then you can listen to the main mix too, if that makes sense.
Do you guys run in-ears?
We do. We just changed over.
That's a level up.
Change the game, though.
That's a level up.
I'm not going to lie. When they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're bad. You know what I mean? So just something to keep in mind. Anyways, let's jump back in. Glad you to be here. Can you tell the camera your occupation in the band and your age and your name?
Get real close to it, buddy.
Get real close to it.
Real somber voice.
My name is Jordy. I play bass with Cannonandtheboxes. Most of the time that there's somebody playing bass with Cannonandtheboxes.
What percentage are we looking at? 60, 75?
83.
83? Okay, nice. Good number. Good number.
83.7 or so.
Oh, word.
0.7, 0.29. And I'm 24 years old. And I currently reside in East Atlanta.
Love that.
He's bailed. He's left.
As they do. How long have you been playing with Cannon? Because I told him earlier when you weren't here that I think of you two together. Like I see you guys together a lot.
We started playing together after we started living together, which happens no more. But it started about 2 years ago.
Yeah. I would say. Yeah, maybe like 2020, summer 2020. Something
yeah,
like that.
Definitely pandemic time is when I started coupling up with Cannon.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit, Cannon. We were talking about, we might have finished this thought. I can't recall. We were talking about Live in the Lobby back in the day, 2019.
Oh, yeah.
What was the biggest thing you noticed?
We got it. We're on track.
Let's do it.
I think just the comfort, really. Like yesterday, because I mean, we play together pretty regularly. Used to be more regularly, but like we didn't really rehearse or anything. But it was like, oh, I can get up there. Gideon's not here, but Gideon Johnston is our drummer.
Love him.
And real good dude. And it was just you get up there and there was no I don't know how you guys felt, but there's no nerves. It was just like we're just having a good time. Did a lot of yelling, did a lot of goofing off. But I mean it's just I don't know. I feel like now it's I was just so nervous just getting I'm from Rome, so like just coming to Athens and UGA. Like UGA scares me way more than Athens, you know what I mean? There's something
do
about
what you
that
mean.
campus
that makes sense, like bigger than you kind of thing.
It took me a long time to get comfortable with it, I would say.
Me too.
So it was nice to go back yesterday and just be like,
the man.
We're chilling.
Love that, dude. That's very well put. It is weird how it's like a bigger thing when you're a kid too. You're like, it's Woo-Wog, it's the radio, it's this, it's that.
Yeah,
now it's like, you kind of settle into playing, and there's a comfortability that comes with that, by playing. How many shows are you guys playing a year? What do you think? 30-something?
Probably like that. Like
probably
not
30s?
high.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah.
I consider that high. I consider that
for
higher
bands.
than most.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
I'm just. I look at all these tour posters. I'm like, I want to play all the Blink-182 shows. They're doing like 200 dates, bro. I want to be doing that. But no, yeah, like we play like maybe 30. Last year was probably a little bit less. This year will probably be a little bit more. But like, yeah, we get Did that tour this summer, which was fun.
How was that? How many days?
It was like 7 days, like 5 or 6 shows, I think.
That's awesome.
But
what
it was
cities?
cool.
Pretty spread out.
New York, Asbury Park,
Nice.
Nashville,
That's awesome.
Asheville, Atlanta, Athens. So,
I hear great things about Asheville. How was that?
Dude, it was cool, man.
Yeah.
I had food poisoning that day. It was like unrelated to like anything. I think I just like tired my body out and stuff. And so it was a rough set, but we played at Static Age Records, which is a really cool record store. It's a very cool venue.
Full band thing?
We didn't have a drummer. It was just the 3 of us.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So you kind of have some songs. I noticed this today when I was listening back to the catalog, as I do for these kind of things. You have a lot of songs that could thread the needle on the rock band thing almost, and then a lot of them are super cut back. So, like, what is the live show like in that aspect? Is it usually rocking, or you're able to do both pretty well?
We try. I feel like I tried to. I used to try to do the thing where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play a couple songs by myself. You know what I mean? But then one time I was talking to Elijah Johnson,
Goat,
great songwriter, Goat,
the great Athens.
He also just walked in. No, I'm kidding. But like we were talking about someone else, like an older head in the like Athens scene or whatever, and they were like. Just that person had expressed how douchey they thought it was. That
really?
Guy was like, "I'm gonna for my 45-minute set at Flickr, I'm gonna have my band go away." And so I try not to do that anymore. I mean, sometimes you got songs that you like haven't figured out yet, and you want to get them out there, but you haven't been able to teach them. They're giving me the look. So
did it yesterday?
I did it. Yeah, I did it yesterday. But that's
what did you do?
I told you guys to stay, and then.
We were all like, we don't know this song. Goodbye.
So yeah, it's a mix, but we try to make them as rocking as possible, especially like with Aaron playing in the band too. Like, it's cool to like riff off each other and stuff like that.
How easy was it for you, Aaron, to kind of find your space in the band? I assume, I don't know what your influences kind of are, but were you influenced by anything similar to like what you're playing in Cannon, or do you just kind of bring your own thing in there?
I think it was really refreshing for me actually, because it's a little more rock and roll than like some of the other stuff I do. And it was fun to kind of just play more guitar licks and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was at first I really just was like listening to the stuff on Spotify and trying to be like how do I play these songs? Like what are the parts like Tommy's playing and the live Pastel Houses mix and like all this stuff. And I think now I'm kind of getting to a place where I can kind of extrapolate and do my own thing a little more, which is really exciting. Sense. It's been fun to like add my own
zest to it.
What
do you think about that, Cannon? Because like you're asking somebody to join the band, and it's like, I mean, maybe like you listen to his Hotel Fiction stuff, and it's not exactly like close to what you're doing. Is it like wondering like, is this gonna work? Because like you're a certain niche / genre. You know what I mean? Like, is there any wonders on that?
Like it's like we're not like a rock band necessarily. We're not like a folk band. We're not really an Americana band, even though like. Aaron and I both listen to a lot of country and Americana music. But yeah, I'm not really like I feel like a lot of bands look at stuff where it's like we're like a parts band, like we have parts, and there are like definitely like riffs and stuff in my songs. But like if I ask someone to play, it's just like because I like trust how they play.
Gotcha.
You know, like I just like not like it's like Aaron rips. I've seen Aaron rip before.
So you're not looking for a pure replication. Of the record,
I don't want
anybody.
Like I don't if I play in other bands, like which I do, but like there's a certain level of if I'm filling in, I'm just gonna play what's on the record or whatever, and like I got no shame about somebody being like, yo, play this part. But if I had my choice, I would just kind of do my own thing.
It took getting used to with that. Yeah. Like at first I came in, I was like, oh god, I'm just gonna play exactly what.
Yeah, that tends to what happened in a join. You know what I mean, right? Don't you think?
Oh yeah, yeah. It took me some time to get comfortable enough to know that I didn't always have to do that.
Interesting. Okay. And how do you kind of fit into this? Are you just like, what are you thinking when you're like adding your zest to these songs? I assume you guys write together sometimes too, but I think of you as the main songwriter, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It's a fair guess,
I try to like, have like a concrete thing.
Yeah.
Like,
to bring to. Yeah. Like a solid idea. What are you thinking when songs are getting brung in? Are you like, how can I accent the best or what?
Yeah. I mean, Cannon's definitely I would say like obviously it's Cannon in the boxes.
Of course.
We are merely boxes.
Yeah, don't forget.
But I've had the opportunity to like very intimately work with Cannon in that when things were like when we were working on or when you were working on Professional Wrestling, I heard that song months before it was even like a song. You know?
Yeah.
And so I already had it in my ear just from sleeping in a room next to Cannon.
Yeah,
and so there's a lot of things. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that are kind of already sitting there. And so Cannon, comes to me. He's like, hey, let's track some bass. And I already know pretty much like what the changes are. We're kind of going through things, and I'm like, okay, so this is the form, and then we can. And at that point, it's kind of just Cannon and I workshopping through. It's like, what do you want? Like, what is this supposed to sound like? Getting a feel for it, and then from there, I just have my own approach to whatever it is. Whether it's going to be just more sitting back, holding a groove, or it's going to branch out from there.
And that kind of branches into live, like you just kind of try to do what you did on the record, or like you find your way to bring it live. Or is there any
there's moments where that happens, especially for things that I've already previously tracked with Cannon. But for the most part, I'm not really of the mindset of playing the same thing twice for most steady live performance.
Yeah.
No matter what, maybe at first it'll be a little bit of the first few shows or the first few times that we're performing something is just kind of finding a comfort zone. But from then on out, it's just trying to, change it up.
Make yourself happy with it.
Yeah, because it also depends on the energy that we kind of have going on. Because sometimes there's some things that are going to be a little bit more held back. Although I think for the most part, it's pretty clear when things start getting rowdy on stage. But
yeah,
it's a pretty obvious feeling.
But there's things that have changed in some songs where before there was only guitar, and now the whole band starts creeping in, and so those have all been live experiments.
Yeah, I think like the version, like we have a song called Boston that we put out this summer.
Boston, I like it. I just listened to it
a few times. Man. Yeah, the way that we play that live, like Aaron and I kind of we didn't write a part, but like we were figuring out how we wanted to play that live. There's no electric guitar on the recording.
Isn't there like an organ or something at the start, or there's some sort of sound? What is that?
So Mason, who is in Atlanta also, so he could not be here, but he's like he's a part-time member of the band. Okay. If he lived here, I would rope him into being full-time. But he's a keys player, and he plays like Juno on that song. There's a lot of synth stuff.
Yeah.
But like the version of that song that we play live is like, I would say significantly different than the recording in terms of like form or just how we're approaching it. But it's sick. Like it always goes over really well, mainly because Gracie sings on it. Yeah. And
I noticed that as well.
She's a good singer.
I was like, I think I've heard that voice before.
Yeah, dude, she's the best, man. She has a phenomenal voice.
She really does, yeah.
She's lighthearted for those.
Yeah, for those listening.
For those listening or watching.
Yeah, love that. What was the kind of inspiration on that song? I thought it'd come out a little more recently. You said it was this summer?
It came out, it was at the end of the summer. So it was like maybe like right before August. Like July maybe. But we tracked it with we made a record with Patrick at Racket Recording. And that was in January, like the first week of this year. And then just all like Jordy lives in Atlanta, Hotel Fiction. I was working with another band, so we were all kind of doing our own thing. And just like recently kind of got to start finishing it.
Okay.
And that song I wrote that song like just like a friend of mine was in Boston and they had some shit go down, and I was just like, looking at Boston, that's a long way away, dude.
Yeah.
Can't do nothing about that. You know
that's
what I mean?
tough.
Like, have fun. Yeah. So no, I don't know. It's a cool song. It's definitely not representative of the record in that it's pretty chill, but like it fits well.
Gotcha.
It's 10 songs. That's going to be one of the 10.
That's on
yeah.
Okay.
Didn't release it as a single. I was just so stoked that I was like, I want to put this out now. I don't want to wait. So,
I love that.
Which I do that a lot.
Sometimes when it's fresh, you just want it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
While you really like playing it,
the whole cycle of like trying to like sit on something. I'm not good at that. I just want it to be like.
And then by the time you're ready to put it out, you've written something that you think is kind of better,
Which
or
is,
more fresh.
I feel like that's what everybody goes through, But
I think that happens for sure. I can't imagine like a 2-year album cycle. You know what I mean? That'd be tough. Insane. Be like, damn, I'm not even excited about these anymore or something. You know what I mean? But
it's wild.
Let's keep moving. Tell me about Gideon's involvement in the band. I think of Gideon as with you guys as well, but less because he's doing a bunch of bands, right?
He's a busy man.
He's a busy bee. Tell me when he started playing with you guys and what he kind of brings to the group. I'd love to hear from all of you guys. Be curious.
So Gideon started playing with us. That's a good question. Maybe last summer. I think that's right. Last fall, maybe. It's been like a little over a year, but he and I were just hanging out. Honestly, like I met him, through his brother because I play in Elijah's band. I play guitar with him, and through the Wabaz crew, and then like just started hanging out with him more, and then went on tour with Hotel Fiction playing bass, and so got to know him a lot better. Just through touring and like staying together like that, and he's just a homie. He's one of my best friends.
He's the man.
Yeah, he's a little under the weather, or he would be right now.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah,
I promised him his own episode as well. So
you better.
It's really no problem.
Honestly, like there's
no problem.
You could probably talk to him for like 9 hours.
I could, man.
He's in about 30 bands.
Yeah, for real, man. I've been looking forward to having him on. So,
but no, he's sick, man. I mean, he's such an energetic like person, and that translates into his drumming. Like it's super fun playing with him. He's
kind of bouncy.
Yeah, and I mean,
like a bouncy drummer. You know what I mean?
He plays really hard, and I like that. Like especially for our stuff, because it's like it just feels good. Like not that he can't do other things. Like he's a really controlled drummer. Like he plays in Jordy's band, Canary Affair, right now, and that's takes it's very controlled music. You can't just be banging on him.
Yeah,
but it's cool to see him. Like just I don't know. It's cool that like I feel like part of the joy of being in multiple bands is like doing different things in each band, and so it's cool that like. He can just wail on the drums during a Cannonandtheboxes set. And
love that.
It doesn't really matter. Which is with like the Pink Stones or the Canary Affair or whatever. I don't think that's the case.
Not as less frowned upon.
Yeah, it's frowned upon to be hitting them that hard.
Well, when he joins the group, does he play out on these songs that you guys recorded?
Yeah, he played drums on all the songs on the record except for one, which Hayden, my old drummer, played. Which
I remember Hayden.
Yeah, he's in the U.S. Air Force band. So he's
good for Hayden.
Yeah, dude, crazy job. One of the most talented musicians that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he's a monster. It's ridiculous.
Is it tough? Yeah, I believe he really is.
It's. I've never seen anybody practice anything that much. Like he's like it's 6 hours a day. Like that guy. Yeah, dude. He absolutely deserves the job that he got because there's not many people that get those like military.
Yeah, it sounds legit.
Jobs.
Yeah, it sounds legit.
Real cool.
So what's it like for you guys? I mean, Gideon, your tour schedule is as limited as his availability, kind of, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
How's that like? Is that tough?
Yeah, it's tough.
Tough, yeah, yep. I imagine, yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of for everybody here, though. It's like you're touring with other bands, you're playing with other bands. I mean. Shit, sounds like the whole group is super busy. The fact that you guys pulled off 30 last year shows. It's
super cool. And I try to do as many of them as I can full band. Like obviously some of them are just me, or like Jordy and I have played shows together where like I'll play acoustic and he'll play cello.
Mm-hmm. So, I can see you guys being able to pull that off really well.
Yeah, luckily it translates really well. Yeah, it's not like a.
It's been a few scrambling.
It's not like heavy metal or something.
For the most part, we pull it together.
Yeah,
scrambling ones. What do you mean?
We've had to. Sometimes we forget that. It's a different instrument and setup, and it's like, oh, this isn't how the song sounds.
Okay,
yeah. But no,
it works.
It works out fine. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. It's always good. But I mean, it's funny. Like, so we played a couple weeks ago. We played the Georgia Theater, which was very fun.
Yeah,
bless it up. Love that room.
I love Supper Club too.
Yeah. Opening for Supper Club, which was super sick. But like, it was that night. Canary Affair was playing on the rooftop.
Oh, so really? With like B and all?
Yeah. So Gideon played downstairs with us and then ran upstairs and played.
Of course he did.
Jordy made the like mature decision and was like, I'm picking one. Not that Gideon was immature. I'm not saying anything. I was
on a
one
track.
You gotta focus.
And I told Cannon like 2 weeks before, I was like, honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about it. So that's just gonna default to no because you gotta find another bass player.
And Aiden Hill played. He's phenomenal. He's a really good bass player.
Interesting.
He plays in Cloudland and Lighthearted now too. He's their bass player.
Interesting.
He's a rocker. But no, I mean it's definitely tough working with people's schedules. But I think you have to kind of like lean back into like if we don't practice, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll be fine.
We gotta have some practice, but it's
a little bit.
We're not gonna be as prepared as we would like to, and just like. Play what you know and have a good time. Like
I think it's good, man. I think it's better than you think, because like it's not really a problem if you have to I mean, it's a problem as in you don't know the songs well, but at least you can substitute people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Instead of just like, oh, he can't do it, we can't play it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That makes sense.
Definitely bands suffer from that. Like, look, none of my parts are hard enough that I can't have a homie that's like, yo, can you play 1-4-5 on the bass for 45 minutes? It's cool. I'm glad that we made it work. As long as we have. But it's definitely it's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem.
Your homies' bands are doing well.
Are killing.
You know what I mean? It would be better. It would be worse if we were all free all the time.
Yeah, I'd be like, damn, we're not crushing right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, man, dude. What has been on you guys' mind lately? Like, what's been some of the obstacles / achievements? God, that sounds cheesy when I said it. That you've been working on, you know what I mean? Like I sound like a middle school teacher, but like, what have you guys been working on getting done? You know what I mean? Is it just the album? Is it just getting some shows? Is it getting better as a band? What are you guys working on?
No goals. No, I'm kidding.
No achievements.
We were super focused, I was super focused, like almost to a fault on doing that tour this summer because it was just like I want to get out there. I want to.
That was big.
Yeah, I mean, we went to New York. Like that's
huge. That's a run. You know what I mean?
Far away, man.
To New York.
We drove to New York. We woke up one day in Brooklyn and went to sleep in Athens.
Epic.
Oh, I forgot that was all in one.
It was one day. It was like 18 hours. And we stopped in Asheville, which is not on the way.
Yeah. Not on the way.
Yeah. So we, my bad on the routing. That was before I had done Barbie's tour routing assignment.
Yeah.
So maybe if I had done that after, I would have done better. But no, man. I mean, I think it's hard to stay like singularly focused when we do have a lot of things going on, and like I'm finishing up school and people have jobs and stuff. But I doing that tour was really important to us and to me, and putting this record out is probably the next thing. Early December. It's gonna be good. We finished tracking today, did a little accordion.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. That's hype. How tough was it for you guys to come up with 10 songs that you felt like needed to be on an album?
Dude,
did you add the other one back?
I didn't add the other one back. It's still at 10.
Should be 11.
This is emblematic of the. I don't know, man. It's easy to second guess songs. Like,
it's
songs,
very easy. Yeah,
it's and I think also like it's when you get into the weeds of being in the studio too. It's like we went in for. I wanted to do it like old school style. Like let's just track everything as live as we can in like the same span of time. So it all like feel. We did it in like 8 or 9 days maybe.
Getting like all the bones down. Getting all the bones down was only was like 3 days.
Yeah, it was like
much everything
of just me, Jordy, and Gid just in the studio like playing them and trying to get the right feel for them. And I'm really proud of what we did, but it definitely is hard. Like the reason that 11th song that it's not on there is like, man, I don't think it fits. Like,
fair enough.
I also don't think it's a good song, but I wrote it, so I can say that. Like, it's not like he wrote it. Like your song's trash, Jordy.
It's pretty good.
No,
all right.
We'll see. I do an annual 420 release, so that might be 420
on the deluxe edition.
Yeah.
You got to save some stuff for the 25th reissue.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm trying to bank on it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, the greatest hits record. Yes. On that one.
It's always those songs that pop off, the ones you don't like that much.
I know,
saying,
dude. That's the case,
like
and I say that about other people.
It really is.
Myself, I'm like, no, but I know, no, dude. No, I was like reading that Donald Passman, like the textbook for
music business.
Yeah.
I got it.
And there's something where he's talking about like. It's like the only thing, like the only people that knows is the public. It was like a radio guy, and it's just like nobody. The only people that knows if a song or hits are the listeners. Like no radio guy knows, no band person.
You always hear those stories where it's like, yeah, we didn't fucking want to do this, and then it's like Hotel California, and like Stairway to Heaven, and like Freebirds, like these big songs,
Yeah, and they're the throwaways. So.
Yeah, interesting. Well. I'm excited to hear it, man. I listened to the single today, and I really like it. Like it. It might be my favorite thing you guys have done. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you so much, man.
I thought it was like just funny enough, like just tongue in cheek enough.
Thanks.
Oddly relatable. I liked it,
dude.
Man.
Thank you.
Cool.
That was the fear. Is like because I'm poking fun at myself.
Yes, I know. That's what's good about it.
Yeah. But I played it for a couple of my friends from Nashville, and they were like, "You're an asshole," and I was like,
No, you don't get
He's
it.
a comedian.
Yes, this guy's a genius.
It's a joke.
Yes.
I don't know. Like
that's probably because they never done that. They never done the Athens thing. You know what I mean? If you're not from Athens, you don't get it. But if you are, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, I think that's cool.
I think it. Hopefully, it doesn't. I mean, it's called Classic City Celebrity, but hopefully, I feel like it applies to any scene. I'm sure there's people in any music scene that just have these thoughts of like, because we're also like, if you make art, like you're probably inherently somewhat introspective.
Exactly.
Like the people that aren't are the ones that kill it because they're just like doing their thing. You know what I mean? But it's just like I have found myself so many times like, what am I gonna wear to the show today?
Exactly.
Like, who am I gonna talk? Like it's just like, man,
it's really easy to think you're like a big dog in Classic City. You know what I'm saying?
Dude. It's
exactly what
tiny,
the song's about,
man.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so trying to be like aware of. Trying to be aware of that, but also like I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Like if you come here and like you, as all of us in this room have done at some point, even if you don't live here anymore, like I don't think there's anything wrong, even if you bailed on the greatest city in the world. Whatever. Like I think it's cool that you can have that time to just like be a rock star, dude.
I think that's something that's great about it. I agree.
Like that. What's the harm?
Yeah,
just being cool.
It's a celebration.
I think so. Yeah, a lot of people talk about like moving other places. Like I'm tired of this little town kind of stuff. I'm like, man, like you just got to start over. You know what I mean? Like I love it here. You know? What I mean?
Well, it's totally valid. Like because I mean, I guess everybody's wired differently.
Yeah.
But like, I definitely know people who like need to be in bigger environments.
Or that makes sense.
They feel like, you know, they're like, I gotta be like, I gotta push myself or whatever, and like I'm gonna move to like Atlanta or New York or Austin or something like that. And that's cool. Well, I guess I'm just not driven. No, I'm kidding. Like,
well, there was one line in this song. I wish I'd have written it down because it was great. It was something about like just being in old Athens' head. I can't remember the line. It was good though. I'll have to let you know after this.
Dude,
but there was one line in there that was like, I was like, that's so funny because it makes me think of like old school Athens guys, you know, kind of.
Dude, well, my whole thing was just like me. The image is like me at like 40, sitting outside of Flickr,
still doing the Athens
still
thing.
doing the same thing.
I feel that.
So, and which is like, it's not to say that I want that to happen because the whole song is like, I don't want to do that, but it's also like, man. It
wouldn't be the worst thing.
It wouldn't be the worst thing. And it's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with people wanting to like try on, like be a, you know, not obviously don't be a rude person, but like,
of course not.
If you want to get up on stage and like rock out and do whatever, and then like go be a doctor, like that's cool that you got your time to do your thing. And I think it's cool that this town lets people do that shit, you know?
I think so too, man. I think it's no problem being recognized for something that you like to do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. No matter
shit's
how
fun,
big the
dude.
town is.
Shit's very
like
fun.
This bug right here, he keeps catching my eye. Sorry.
I was watching that guy.
You saw that, right?
Sponsored by Moth.
He wants to say something.
He does.
Give him a mic.
Spirit totem. Moth.
That's Gideon. This is Gideon.
Hi, kid. Look at him. He's drumming so fast.
Dude, that's how it goes. He's working hard.
Well, awesome. When does that single come out, man? We're going to get that because I'm excited.
November 11th. So next Friday.
Sweet.
Skyrim came out.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
2011.
We're in
11/11.
Wow. We're in good company.
Yes, that's a tasteful niche drop right there. I love that.
There's a lot of good music coming out that day, man. My the Corduroy Blue. You know those dudes?
I heard they were downtown today.
Yeah, dude.
Shoot a video.
Damn, I gotta go find Atticus. Those guys rip. They're awesome.
Sick. They're cool guys.
Their record comes out that day, I think, because they're doing a release show that day at Smith's.
Old Bar. Yeah.
Gid was asking us if we wanted to go in the group chat earlier today.
Yeah, man. I might try to make that. What day of the week is it?
Oh, Friday.
Oh, I'm a big fan of those guys. They're cool, man.
They are cool,
really
dude.
Cool.
I booked them this year for a Nucci Space Jam that Aaron played.
I remember. I went there. It was great.
Oh,
I didn't catch you guys. I showed up late. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to see you guys.
You missed it out.
How was it? Was it good?
It was really fun.
Yeah. And what's the name of that group?
It's just me.
Yeah,
I just played under my name because
awesome.
It was the first time I'd ever like played my music. So.
Yeah, man. Glad to hear that.
Crushed it.
Yeah,
very, very proud of him.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you, man. That's awesome.
These are my dads.
As they are.
Your actual dad was there though, and he was proud too.
He was proud.
Love that.
All three of us,
dude. It's a progressive relationship, dude.
It gets interesting. Well, all right. Tell me a little bit more about the single. I'm dead ass serious when I say that's probably my favorite thing I've heard you play. Like I was just smiling the whole time I listened to it today.
Dude, thank you so much.
No problem. So, what is the when did you write it? Tell me I've gotten this story on it, I suppose, or at least I've got it in my mind. When did you write it? What was the inspiration for that per se? And how did you guys add to it, kind of? I suppose.
Sorry, which
Classic City Celebrity.
Classic City. Okay.
I can't remember. Like I enjoyed the chord progression. Like I was playing that chord progression for a while before I had words to it, and I was like, this progression is almost like snarky. Like that's a weird way to describe like music, but it was like the changes in it. It didn't feel like like a lot of my songs is like, oh, this is a rip off of like a Jason Isbell Drive By Trucker song. Yeah, and it wasn't that. There was like a little bit of an edge to it, and I was like, I want to have like some biting lyrics. I want to just trash my home. No, I'm kidding. So I think I honestly wrote it out of like frustration. I think in terms of just like I'm like working, or I started to write it, at least the chorus. I was like, I'm working really hard, and then I don't understand. I was thinking at the time, like, I don't understand why people like what they like, which is like a cosmic question. You know what I mean? Nobody can understand why anybody understands.
Exactly. I've still asked it.
And there's sometimes it's bigger than others. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like I don't want to say anything bad about anything, but I'll use like hyperpop as an example. I don't dislike hyperpop. I don't like
Jordy's
it at
hurt.
all.
For those of us listening on Spotify, Jordy's making an O face.
Jordy's going, oh no. But like, that's just not my bag. You know what I mean? And so I was like, seeing like, just, like what's bands are doing what I want to do, and I don't get why I'm not doing it, which is a super like jealousy position. Yeah. But that was the impetus of like, kind of tongue in cheek, like Classic City Celebrity.
Gotcha.
Like,
what do you mean, you seeing bands doing what you want to do? Is it just like
you move here,
yeah,
or just like man, I want to be playing the Georgia Theater, which is hilarious because like I did that recently, and it wasn't like the turnout wasn't awesome, but we had a fucking great time, you know, and or just like like I was saying, being nervous at Woo-Wog, like when you first come to town and it's like, man, I want to play the 40 watts so bad, like just that kind of vibe of like, I feel like in every iteration of, I mean, you could be playing. Wow, so talking out my ass, like I know what I'm talking about. And I don't,
brother.
But like, I feel like bands that are playing like Red Rocks, there's still another step. It's like, oh, but I could be doing this, and it's just that idea of like trying to be aware of like, just chill, man. Like,
Ooh, I like that.
Just chill. Like that's the whole poking fun of like, I was hoping you'd notice because I'm the next big thing. It's like everybody wants to be the next big thing. Like we all feel this way a little bit. So just trying to like take that and like make more of a joke out of it, because there's no, I don't think there's anything wrong with being, of wanting things and of like, I mean, jealousy inherently. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with like just being like, man, I want that, but you do have to like be careful how that like affects you. Yeah, because you don't want to be a negative person or whatever.
Yeah, what's that quote? It's like, comparison is the thief of happiness. You ever heard that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's the exact
I find
vibe.
myself doing that a lot too. Like I see other Tool graphics and I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
God.
I want to be doing everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody does. So.
And kind of what you're saying about like 40 Watt and Georgia Theater, like when you moved to Athens, I don't know how long you guys, well, you went to school here, right? Did you go to school here?
Yeah.
Okay, word. Okay.
They actually graduated. I'm still working on
it. Well, when you move here, like 40 Watt and Georgia Theater, that's like a bucket lister, you know what I mean? It's like, one day, you know?
Dude.
And then you kind of do them and it's like, well, damn, what's next? You know what I mean? It's like, now I want to do it in Charleston, like the big venue in Charleston or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, there, like you say, there's always something. Even if you're doing Red Rocks, you'd be like, Madison Square Garden. You know what I mean? It'd be like, what's fucking next? Which is a strange thing, you know?
Yeah, and not that I'm trying to say that, like, that we, like, I should be at Madison Square Garden.
No,
that's not what I'm saying.
No, I get what you mean.
Yeah, it's just like there's always another step. The grass is always greener. And so it's like, trying to be content with what you're doing, but also like, it's like I'm going to be aware that I have these feelings, and I'm going to like write a song that gets them out in a constructive way and is not me being a jealous little weenie.
Well put. I mean, I agree with everything you're saying, man. It's like you play 40 Watt the first couple times and it kind of loses that edge, you know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, it's always fun.
It's always great, but you know what I mean?
Great.
The first couple times with any of those places is like,
I fucking cried.
Wow, we made it. Yeah, it's like, this is amazing.
Yeah, just getting choked up in that green room. Like,
just getting choked in that green room.
Just getting choked in that green room, dude. No,
exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always, the goals kind of change too.
They do,
it's
man.
Like, we're playing 40 Watt in December for our release show, and it's like, I mean, that's a massive room. It's
a great room.
600 people.
Yeah, it's
a lot of people in that room. I don't know if it's actually 600.
No, 600 sounds right.
Okay, yeah, it's not.
It might
I
be
don't want to get them in trouble
but...
with fire code. You know what I mean? Like, Valina's out here like, it's 4.
Somebody shut Cannon up.
Yeah, they walk in stacked on trench coats.
That's why I was getting choked, dude. I said 5 and just no.
Seems like it rarely gets to 4 these days. Oddly enough.
No, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to fill that room out.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's cyclical. Like, I'm sure like it won't be in a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it depends on what's going on. But I mean, now it's like, I mean, Hotel Fiction played in the 40 Watt. I don't know if you were at that show.
I was not. I was playing that night.
Baller, dude.
I heard there was 400 there that night.
It was, oh yeah. I mean, there was like the line was
that was wild.
Out around the block.
Love that. That's crazy.
And it's like, that's it's like, oh, so that's what you got to be. That's the next step. You know what I mean? It's like you first you just want to play the 40 Watt, and then it's like, oh shit, I want to do that at the 40 Watt. Like which is cool because I think it keeps you like, keeps you trying to do, bigger and better things. But
I think so. It'd be too easy if it was just, just playing the place. Just kind of. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's always like other levels to like, yeah.
I think it's cool that you wrote a song about that because I mean, relatable. I don't know if you guys relate, but I related. What did you guys think when you heard it? What was your first kind of thoughts? Was it like, how am I going to bring some bass to this and guitar? Or what was it?
Well, I guess my first take on it was that I've always appreciated Cannon's sense of humor. So like, that's been funny. A big like uniting thing is just getting along in that sense. So when I first heard the song, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah. I was like, you're gonna, the people are gonna be upset, but it's awesome. And since my name isn't in the band, you should.
I'm good.
No, dude, no. Yeah, I gotta eat it. I gotta take it on the chin if it doesn't work out.
No, but it is a great song.
It is,
and I think that in that sense,
anybody that has a sense of humor will get it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
thing.
How could you listen to that and be like, this fucking ass? Like, there's just no way.
Yeah,
there's no way.
It's the same people that watch movies and they're like, bruh, that guy can't get big and green and strong. That doesn't happen. It's like, hey, let's just suspend belief here.
Hold on a second.
It's a joke.
How about you? What'd you think?
I think my first thought was just like, there's no one on earth that could have written that song.
Love that, yeah.
But Cannon Rogers.
Thanks,
it's just
man.
like such a beautiful little encapsulation of like where we exist in the world and the time we live in. And I just like, I think it's cool for that reason. If anything, just like such a like niche like concept and thing that like we all feel like a lot of people wouldn't get it. You know?
Yeah. That's what makes it cool.
Maybe that's pretentious, like they don't get it, but like you know what I mean. It's
They're
like
not from here.
if you're like at a certain level in the Athens music scene, it's like
it's very tasteful.
It's this, it's like a, I don't know. It's just it's tongue in cheek, but it's and
it's like Phil Throttle making Athens memes. Like to me, that's like niche content that's like perfect if you live here. I love
memes.
that.
But you can't like it's like you said, you can't really get mad because it's like self-aware. It's like
it's
like there's a part of that in all of us.
Yeah, well, it's like also if I didn't write that song from the first person perspective, like if I was like he's a classic city, that would be I feel like even more questionable. Like,
that'd be like you're coming at somebody. You'd be like,
there's a guy.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can't like construct a character because then that's like that's more questionable than just me putting on the character. I feel like and just being like I'm in a creative writing class, so that's a very creative writing thing for me to say.
Yeah.
But,
well, I feel like all your songs, or at least most. Well, maybe not all of them, but most of them to me, it feels like you try to take us a place, like the professional wrestling and all that. Like it's kind of like a different, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to take us somewhere a little bit.
Yeah, man.
It's like a strong theme. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just like I really like I love like imagery, you know. In I mean that's such a vague thing to say.
Like looking at things.
I like looking at things. like just like using
Big
words,
but with
like,
words
to create a picture. Like professional wrestling is like. You know, the opening lyric is like God and Vince McMahon are cut from the same cloth. It's like, you know, if you're not hip to WWE, he's like the president of professional wrestling pretty much, and also an insane person. And like, I just setting that stage and using like wrestling metaphors, like turning heel is like when you like become a bad guy in wrestling. And I just like kind of creating these like little worlds where songs can exist. That's like obviously not reality. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I'm not out like in that song. I compare former President Trump. I didn't vote for the guy, but like I compare him to a wrestling boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is just an absurd comparison. Like that. I feel like you shouldn't be taking like that kind of thing is. I'm not trying to take it lightly, but it's also like it's cool to kind of just throw shit around,
a niche,
and like
niche thing to throw.
Yeah, just like make try to put stuff together that maybe doesn't fit together and try to like. Paint pictures in a different way. Maybe
sometimes when you recognize like when you drop stuff like that in there, like if you recognize the reference, like that's enough for me to enjoy it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, which is I feel like that's so much of songwriting now. Like somebody was talking about like I was talking to somebody about like the Phoebe Bridgers record, and there's just like nonstop in a lot of her songs, like cultural references, the Smiths or like bands or play like stuff like that. And so I mean maybe there's something to be said for like just like creating like a collage of like cultural images, but I mean I think it works for writing, I think
so, man.
Or at least part of it, you kind of figure it out, and the goal is that we all get better the more we write. So.
I agree. Yeah. Well, you're good at it, man. I like that. Well, how do you guys let me ask you guys a question. How do you guys kind of fit into the space of like, obviously, I mean, Cannon's the spearhead of the group. How do you guys ever have trouble fitting into that sphere of like, trying to make him happy, but also trying to make yourself happy, or no?
No, don't care.
Don't care, dude.
No.
We don't think about that at all.
They don't.
That's elaborate.
We could walk off stage at any moment.
No, Cannon's pretty easygoing.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it's not hard to.
Yeah, I really like working with Cannon because kind of what he was saying earlier about bringing new people into the band is that he doesn't have any expectation of like a cookie cutter musician or contributor or anything, So when Cannon comes up and says like we're gonna do a song like this, or I want the bass part to go kind of like this, and he lets us run with whatever we want to in that moment. It makes it a lot easier for us to, on one hand, not feel like we're being manipulated, and also to not feel like we're put in a box.
Wow,
because,
that's beautiful.
Which is really nice because that can be a
points.
frustrating thing over a lot of
I could
over
see
a long
that.
period of time.
Yeah. One of those things that would kind of sit with you, like I'm tired of making records for this motherfucker, you know what I mean? Or I'm trying to do what this guy wants, you know what I mean? Right?
And I think part of it also comes out of like the companionship that we all share. Like we both individually have really good relationship with Cannon outside of, through music, but outside of music. And so I think that alone is also helpful in terms of us being able to work together and feel comfortable expressing ourselves and disagreeing and agreeing.
Did you agree, kind of?
Yeah, well, it's like Jordy said, like we know Cannon pretty well. Like he's our friend.
That helps a ton.
It's like it's a mutual relationship where he trusts us to like do good things with his music, and we know him well enough to know like, okay, like this is what Cannon would like this.
Yeah.
And that's that I like the environment that creates. It's cool. It's like it makes me a better musician when I can come into practice and like know that I can try shit and it might be cool, and I don't have to worry about
the boss
nailing this thing exactly the way it always is. Yeah,
love that. What do you think about that? Any comments on that?
You got me worried in the first half. Not gonna lie. No, yeah, dude, it's sick. I mean, yeah, like if I'm gonna. My favorite thing to do is to play music on a stage, you know what I mean? Or just make music in general. And if I'm going to do it, I want to do it with people that I'm homies with. And so it's cool to get to do that. And then, yeah, like I'm not at all in the business of trying to like micromanage players. Like even in the studio, like I had a Mark Plemons came in today. Mark Plemons. He's older, not old, but like older than us.
Okay. Old school Athens guy or no?
Like Patrick's age, you know what I mean?
Word,
But he just phenomenal session player, plays keyboard. Okay. And it's like, dude, like you're good at playing keyboard. Like here's the song. I got like here's the chord chart. If I don't like it, I'll tell you. Yeah. But just like do it. You know what I mean? Like I can't play keyboard. So it's like it's just I just like finding people who like you trust and like you want to see what they do. Like Jordy is I wouldn't say that you're an unconventional bass player, but like I think there's like the way that you play bass is not the way that like most bass players play bass. And it's like I like that. You know what I mean?
Most of the bass players we know are guitar players.
Yeah. We don't know any real bass players.
They are cellists.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's I think it's cool, and I hope that at the expense of maybe at times because we don't have set out parts that we can be sloppy. It's like I would rather be a slightly sloppy live band than like the band that if you've seen them once, you know exactly what it's going to sound like next time. Because that's my least favorite thing.
That's hard. I like that.
A live band. You know what I mean? I just want to see some vibe.
Some new. Yeah. It's a tough thing to do when you're playing a lot. You know what I mean? Like the more you play, the tougher it gets. Well, maybe not. That might not be fair to say.
No, I know what you mean though. Like,
you know what I mean?
You find these parts and you know what works and you know what hits. And so I think it's a balance. I'm not saying that like every night we get up there and we're just like we're gonna wing it. Yeah. But I think there should be a balance. Like I'm not necessarily a because there's like this is a real jam town.
For sure.
I can't say that I'm a jam guy.
Yeah, I can't either.
Because I'm not.
We talked about this on the first episode.
Yeah.
I remember this.
But like especially since the last time I was on this podcast, I adore the Grateful Dead.
Oh yeah.
Like not a big Fish guy, but
I appreciate the genre.
Yeah, exactly. Like I used to like kind of clown Freeze McGee, and then I saw them at a festival that I was working, and I was like, this is the best shit that I've. Like it was so good. You know what I mean?
You have to see it, one of those things, right?
Yeah,
that's what I've always thought. That you have to experience the jam band thing.
I just want to be in the middle. Like I don't want to be like a. I hate to say pop because there's other people that do, but like I don't want to be like playing the same thing like a robot. Like you could just get Ableton to do my part for me.
Yeah.
But I also I don't want to be up there like
completely
playing a 40-minute song.
Yeah. As you guys aren't busting out the in-ears and the click tracks anytime soon, it sounds like.
Nah, dude.
I don't think you should.
It's because we can't afford it.
We can't afford it. We can't afford it at all. Yeah. No.
Understood.
We have a keyboard amp PA. No.
Well, you have... Really?
No. We have whatever we rent from Nucci's.
Gotcha. So, you have a keyboard amp PA.
Shout out Nucci's.
Yo, be there in a minute. Let's see. What was I going to ask about that? I was going to ask, you have some guitar parts. I don't know if you're necessarily playing the guitar parts. But it's earlier.
No, I'm kidding.
Is it all earlier Cannon in the Box stuff? There's some guitar parts to me that sound like REM, like very REM to me.
Thank you, man.
Very Peter Bucky.
They're
all electric when I think of them. You know what I mean? Like clean electric thing.
Yeah. Well, and just like I mean, I was definitely influenced by that, and just like also, like REM does the thing they like absolutely nail. The like simple guitar parts, just like arpeggiating some chords.
Yeah, like the jangle thing.
Yeah. And so I was trying to do. I also like really like the Smiths growing up, they do that too. Like a lot of people compare Johnny Marr and Peter Buck.
Yeah.
So like definitely that stuff, and also just I've always just liked playing electric, even though up until the past couple years I didn't really consider myself like a lead player. Okay. I was a lot of times just playing chords on an electric.
I would have. I've seen you shred a little bit. Get down.
I try to shred.
Yeah, let's say he gets down.
I'm not trying to say I don't shred.
I would fully consider you a lead player.
Dude, I fucking love playing guitar, man. Yeah. It's the past couple years, like playing in Elijah's band is really cool. Yeah, I feel like I really get some cool opportunities to do stuff with him, and yeah, it's just. I don't know, but it takes a while to grow into it. Like, especially if your main way of learning to play guitar is in a band. Like, I was never sitting down with a metronome, like, trying to learn solos. I was always just like, if I can play the song, that's good enough.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Love that.
Let's go to an open mic.
I love that, man. Let me ask you this. I actually want to answer from each of you, if you don't mind. How would you describe the whole vibe of the record that's coming up? Actually, I want him to go first. Because if you answer, he'll be influenced by him.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Well, I definitely have the least exposure to it.
Okay.
I heard the whole thing for the first time last night.
Word. Well, what'd you think? Knee-jerk reactions.
And, well, I thought it sounded...
I'll kill you. Just keep that in mind if you say anything bad.
It was good. It was good. I thought it sounded really, really good. Patrick is a phenomenal producer first and foremost.
He's tearing it up, man. It seems like everybody's recording over there.
Yeah,
that's not what Tommy.
He's got an incredible setup, and he's really talented. And I can tell that he's like really getting into his groove over there. And like this is really a really cool product of that.
I want to meet him. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's also just it. I feel like it was some of the most like thought out and put together music that I've heard from Cannon, like in the best way.
Exciting.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just very like it sounds intentional.
Ooh, okay.
And like a lot of the parts I can tell were, I don't know, thought about, and there's like a lot of different sounds that I'm hearing on it, and it's just very full. Wow. And like it's a really good representation of, I feel like, where Cannon's at with his music right now.
What an answer right there. You need to frame that up. That was a good one.
He's living, bro.
Love that.
He makes it another day. Dude, thank you so much.
Yeah, dude, that's great.
I loved listening to it, and it was
intentional. I feel like that's a big compliment. Intentional for a record writing. I think that's a good way to put it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean,
especially for an album. You know,
and it's not. I mean, it's not done yet. A lot of the songs weren't even. You know, I didn't have vocals yet. So.
Yeah, he was just listening to drums.
I'm kidding. Gideon's pretty good.
Gideon's pretty good. Intentional with that snare.
Yeah. Gid's intentional too. He was like changing the sound of the floor tom.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
How about you? What'd you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good description. I think intentional is good, especially because as far as a lot of what I've heard, Cannon release as larger pieces of work, like maybe just like the last EP. I think that this covers more ground sonically.
Interesting.
There's more. There's places where there's more space and there's places where there's less space.
Okay.
And I think that, but always done in a tasteful manner. Things don't sound crowded and things don't sound oversaturated throughout. And one thing that I think has gone along, hand in hand with like where he's at musically and where his songwriting has gotten is that is a better idea of that space. I don't think this record could have come out like 2 years ago.
No way.
Interesting.
No way.
And,
exactly.
And so there's it's really cool. It's also great. I mean, like I play with Patrick, so I work with him very frequently. Okay. And I lived with Cannon for like 2 years. So to be in, it also became closer with Gideon also over the past couple of years. But to have a have a period of time where the four of us were working together in one space was really nice. Because when I've been able to do that in the past with people that I'm close to, it's a very fulfilling experience. You get sort of like that delusional point in making a record where you're feeling like you've just been staring at a wall for 8 hours, and then you get out and it's fresh, and you come back and listen, and you're like, that didn't sound like that at all in the moment, And so like to listen to, I hadn't listened to it last night since we tracked in January.
Really?
When we listened back on it, and I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot about that whole song.
Yeah.
and it sounds great.
Does it? That's exciting, man. You guys describe it really well.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's really dope.
Making you write all the promo stuff.
Shit, we got to record it, man. Just type it out.
Yeah. Dude.
Good answers. What do you think, Cannon?
Yeah, I mean, intentional is, that's a great, thanks, man. I was just trying to be like open, like sonically open. in terms of like really being intentional about trying to leave room for stuff, like not wanting
sonically, you mean?
Yeah, like not wanting to fill up, like not want to throw a bunch of tracks on there just because we need to fill it up,
like 15 guitars for no reason.
Yeah, trying to be like, what are the guitar? If it's a song that we've played live a bunch, like professional wrestling, Jordy's bass part in that song is Jordy's bass part because it fucking rips, and so it's like we know we want that bass part, we know what the drums are. Let's not like add extra notes. Let's just play the guitar part as it is and just try to like, we did piano on that today. But yeah, like there's just trying to be open, like in terms of everything that's present, like should be there and is like functioning for something and is not like just extra. And then also trying to be open, like, you know, with the like messaging of it and stuff like that. Like, you know, like Classic City Celebrity is like a joke, but also like a very honest song. And so trying to be open in like what I'm saying and like what I'm communicating. And there's like there's a ballad on there called Rockwell Cover Dream, which there's a version of that out on Spotify actually. That's like I did it at Wabaz with my
is it
buddy.
Live?
Yeah.
I can think of the cover. I can see the cover in my head.
It's me and Michael looking like goons. My buddy Michael Dill, who I love.
Does Michael live in Nashville?
He does live in Nashville.
I know who Mike was.
Yeah,
okay,
he's
I'm
cool
aware
shit.
of him.
He's a very cool dude.
I hear he's awesome.
He's got a couple really good songs online, and hopefully more coming soon. But so like, just trying to be like really intentional with like in that song Rockwell Cover Dream, like it's like a piano ballad, which is like I wrote the piano part, Mason played it, like I played it for him and I was like, can you just do this like better? Because I'm not really that good at piano. And he was like, yeah, for sure. And
easily.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, without any effort. it would I could do it with my eyes closed.
Done.
But you know, it's pretty open, it's pretty scary, you know, as a dude who likes hiding behind a loud electric guitar to like have a piano ballad, and it's like you know, about like insecurity and shit like that. But I also think that I don't know, you know, if you're not kind of if it's not a little bit uncomfortable, like, you know, then maybe it's too comfortable. Maybe you should try to do something else. Like,
that's a good point.
I don't know, and it's cool too, just the diversity of like, you know, Jordy played upright on a couple songs. Like he played upright on Boston. That. He played the record is called High Life, and the song High Life is like a folk ballad. And he played upright on it.
Let's go, man. That's
just
good.
Trying to keep the instrumentation clean. Like I played some pedal steel. We tracked accordion today. There's samples. There's
strings on Boston.
Strings on
nice.
Like strings, cello, and violin.
Who played strings?
You and Will.
Will
Ruff.
Yeah.
He's in a little band called Family Recipe.
Subtle plug.
Dude, I'm trying to all my friends' bands.
No calls to
being
action.
an asshole. Dude. No, it's
not Woog.
A lot of people play. Actually, it's good to say like so the lead guitar on Classic City Celebrity.
Okay.
Clark Sounds.
Yeah, okay. I'm hearing a lot about this guy. I don't know. It is a guy, right?
He's a guy.
Just a solo guy?
Maybe he might
like
not
a guy
be
and
man.
like 8 other people when you see them.
Live it's a band.
Okay.
But like Clark is a guy.
It's a cool name.
Yeah,
it's like
dude.
very like, whoa, what the fuck
He
is
makes
that?
really sick music. But he played the guitar part. Sarah Moots did the backing vocals.
Love Sarah.
So it's cool to have a lot of friends come in and help do stuff too.
That's awesome. As you should on a record, I think. I think it makes it really cool, you know
dude!
what I mean?
Like one of the songs is a cover of Transcendental Blues by Steve Earle, which is
Really?
one of my favorite Steve Earle songs. And I had, do you know Gene?
I don't
This
think
is
so.
bad. Off the top of my head, I don't know Gene's last name, which is kind of embarrassing. But he's legitimately my favorite guitar player in Athens. He used to run sound at the Caledonia. He's in Vincus, and he also plays.
The long blonde hair in the back.
No, that's Gary.
That's Gary. I like Gary.
Yeah. Gary's a cool dude. He plays drums.
Hold on. I think this guy messaged me today. Let me make sure I'm not thinking of somebody else.
This is crazy. This is a singularity.
Okay, hold on, wait. Never mind.
Eugene?
Josh Morris. You guys know Josh?
I do know Josh Morris.
Josh
Dude, he's a cool guy.
Because I looked at his profile. I think I might have met him somewhere. And Gideon was in one of his pictures, I think. And I was like...
Him and Gid are like starting a band.
They are, yeah.
Okay, cool.
With Daniel Crow and maybe Wim Tapley. I don't know I don't know the lineup of this band, but
I've heard that.
Wim Tape? Let's go, man. Let's go.
It's pretty big. Those are some big names.
Super group, man. Super group. I love that.
But I completely forgot what I was saying. But yeah.
Oh, Gene. Yeah, Gene.
I can't talk about him. But no, we like did this cover of a Steve Earle song, and like get out of here, bro. And we like recording that cover because I wanted him to come in and shred on it. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha.
Like, that wasn't the only reason. Obviously, I like the song.
Yeah, of course.
But like, there's something so cool about like knowing people and like knowing what they can do and just being like just throwing it to them. Like,
just let him have it.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I just want to hear you shred all over this song, and he did, and it's awesome. And so it's really cool to have stuff like that going on too, where you can just kind of like, you know, have your friends make it better, you know, like especially like you said with the album, it's cool to like, you know, keep it fresh.
Like a universe kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And like I think a good cover on an album is good, like a single cover. I think that's tasty because some
Dude,
different.
thank you, man. Thank you.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited to hear the whole thing. So we got about 10 minutes left, or 5 to 10 minutes, excuse me. I want to ask you guys a few more things. I wrote down a few I wanted to make sure I asked. After touring, this is for all of you guys. You guys can answer individually if you'd like. What thing about Athens has kind of surprised you most? Like, what's something you realized about Athens after you started touring and came back? It can be about the scene. It can be about culture. It can be about anything. What's something about Athens that kind of sticks out?
Dude, the amount of venues we take for granted is so hard. I mean, there are other cities like Austin, Texas that have a lot of venues, but like, I mean, I think it speaks to we tour with different bands or like have toured with different bands.
Okay.
You tour.
Of course.
It's here. There's like a bunch of different places to play. Mm-hmm. If you play like, I'm gonna say an example and like botch it, but like the only real venue in Greenville is Radio Room.
Exactly.
Like, there's so many towns where there's like 1 or 2 spots, you know, and like so you see your friends in the same spots, like, you know, Hotel Fiction and Springhouse and, you know, a bunch of our friends' bands have played Mercury Lounge in New York.
Yeah,
which
classic.
is like not because there's not venues in New York, but I think we just take for granted how many there are here. You know,
I get exactly what you mean. You know what I mean? Like run into a lot of bands where they've only got 2 places to play, and it's like, fuck, that sucks.
Yeah, dude, that has to be ass.
Because you can because you can tour Athens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
to a certain extent. You know,
you play for 2 weeks straight at different places.
You
every
really
day.
Can.
Yeah.
Phil Throttle somewhere, his brain is exploding.
He's like, don't do that.
I love that guy. All right, how about you? Anything?
That's a big one, definitely. Also, I mean, well, I guess on one hand, I haven't toured as much as these guys have.
Okay.
But when I have,
fair enough.
What I've been able to pick up on touring is sort of the snapshots that you get of cities, and it's easy to go to a city and with that snapshot, like, not get much of an idea of what the city's all about or what the music scene is like.
Because you're not there long, kind of.
Because you're not there long. Yeah. But I feel that and maybe it kind of goes hand in hand with the venues that we have and the fact that we have so many that like most any night of the week you could go to a venue and have a very Athens music scene experience.
Gotcha.
You know, so like, and like maybe that goes along with the fact that we have so many venues and we have so many bands that play so frequently. But I think it is really nice that this music scene has, I mean, and you know, you live here longer and you figure out kind of like what the flavor of it is. But it's nice to know that you can sort of get a good image of what the Athens music scene is by just like going to a show at Flickr.
Yeah.
And you go there and you're like, oh, I know what's going on here, even if it's a touring act playing at Flickr, versus like when we went to different venues, when I went on tour with either one of these guys in different bands or when we all went, it was kind of like we went to a place and I was like, I'm not really sure like what the scene is like here, what the people are like, because that venue was, you know, maybe that one spot in the city where
like
music
the punk
was
spot,
happening.
or
And here,
you know,
you could walk from Flickr and then like check out World Famous, and just on the way you catch 2 other things that are going on.
Interesting.
So I think it's a place where, you know, you can sort of digest a lot of the music scene in one visit or one night.
Gotcha.
Even.
That makes sense. Very well put. I like that. Very well articulated. How about you?
Yeah, I mean that's a big one. Like I was gonna say, just like the fact that you can like see your favorite band in the world at the theater, and then afterwards walk to Flickr and see like the coolest local punk band or something like in the same night is. I mean, that's really cool, and I'm sure there are plenty of places like that. But in Athens, I think
there's probably not as many as you'd think. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's probably less than you think.
It's
you know
true.
What I'm saying?
Well, that's like the size of Athens really lends to this, because you can do that, and just the biggest thing for me was the community here.
Yeah.
And this is again totally like a judgment that I'm making based off zero knowledge of any.
Oh, make it, man.
But like, you know, that's what we do here. It just, to me, it feels like there's something special about the music scene here, and just the fact that, you know, if our friend has a show, you'll probably see all of us there.
Yeah,
and
the amount of band people at a band show. Is
and we all just
you know what I mean?
we support each other, and like we want each other to be successful, and we all, you know, there are obviously different pockets of scenes in the city, but like, you know, all the people I know that play music are like there for each other as far as music goes. Like they're gonna sub in on bass if you need a bass player. They're gonna come out to your show with 2 people there because they want to see you.
Exactly.
And it's really encouraging and cool. And I've been to other cities where it just doesn't feel that way.
Oh, for sure.
And
there's plenty of them.
And it's like it's either competitive or people don't give a shit.
Yeah, or there's no scene present at all.
Or the scene is just sparse as hell.
I mean, 90% of places we go are like that.
True.
You're very fortunate if you stumble across
something.
So
I just think that is like a cool, unique opportunity that we have just to live here.
Love that.
And get to be a part of that.
Yeah. Well spoken. You guys got good answers, man. Good work here. My final question for you is, what is your favorite Cannon and the Boxes song to play live each?
Oh shit. Man, I gotta get lately Classic City Celebrity.
Love it.
But
all time, like per capita, that doesn't apply here.
You should just say that.
Probably professional wrestling. I really like playing professional wrestling.
Word.
It's super fun.
That's a classic Cannon too.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's that bass part, dude. Don't. Pro.
How about you, Jordy?
That's mine just because of what Cannon said. No, I mean, I always really enjoyed playing that song because that was the first song I think that I did anything with you on.
Yeah, we worked on that part. No, I think you're right. I think professional wrestling was first. No, professional wrestling was first.
Yeah, okay. And that was kind of like a big. That was pandemic time, so there was
a different era.
Yeah,
there was a lot of madness that revolved around that coming together, and little parts of that sometimes creep back into my memory whenever we're playing it. So that's fun. But I think recently maybe Boston. I really love that song.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate that one. That's a new find for me, so I'm enjoying that one.
It's beautiful. I gotta say, Pastel Houses.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's because he gets the solo.
It's because I get the solo.
Because he gets the solo.
That's it. That's the only reason.
He crushes it.
I just spent the most time with that one when I was learning all of his songs.
I think of that one live at We Bought a Zoo, right? Isn't that one?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I think of it.
Yeah, it's got that sick.
Which is also pretty influenced by Tommy. Like, Mitchell Patterson, who was a guitar major here a while ago, he is now in the Air Force Band in Virginia. 2 Air Force Band mentions on this podcast.
I remember Mitchell.
Shout out to
the Power
Air Force.
Band.
Yes, the Power. Yeah,
dude,
he was there when we played. We played together.
Yes,
all three of us.
Yes, dude,
Good
that
times.
fucking flicker.
That was fun show.
Dude, David Barbie was there, and I shit my pants.
I was like, oh my god. I remember giving him a CD. I was like, here you go.
There was shit everywhere.
There was shit everywhere.
That stage is not
between
recovered.
me and Cannon, dude. It was ridiculous.
But so Mitchell played on that song, and then just like when we did the live version at We Bought a Zoo at Tommy's old house, it was kind of Tommy's version of Mitchell's part, now we're at like Aaron's version of Tommy's version of Mitchell's. It's just a cool like twist because everybody plays.
And Mitchell was a mean player.
He's a
Mitchell was clean,
player,
bro. He's clean.
He's very, very good. Yeah,
Love that.
He's a really cool guy. I think he sent that to me remotely, but I don't think it was from his job. I don't think it. I think he was just like had moved somewhere else. If that was recorded on an Air Force base, that's hilarious.
That's even cooler to the story. We'll know after this. Hopefully he listens.
Text him.
I'll send it to him.
Okay, cool.
All right, fellas. Thank y'all for coming on, man. Really appreciate y'all. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure,
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet you officially.
Yeah.
We've met, of course. Of course, but first time meeting him.
Yeah.
So thank y'all for coming in. Thanks everybody for watching the show. If you made it 69 minutes in, good for you guys, man. Good for you. That's why we do it, man. Shout out to Clark's Collective. They are the sponsor of today's show. They're having some wonderful shows. Cannon played there.
We played there last week.
What'd you think? What would you think of the Clarks?
So much fun. The owners were phenomenal. The bartenders were phenomenal. The vibe there was good.
Vibe's great.
It was a good time.
Love that.
If you're a band, you should play there.
I agree. That's gonna be a good ad. They're gonna be happy with that.
Hey, dude.
Thank you, Clarks. Thank you guys. Subscribe on YouTube and all that good stuff to Jameson OTR. Subscribe to Cannon and the Boxes. Check the music out on Spotify. All that good stuff. I feel like there's something else. I don't think so. I think that was it. Yeah. If you guys subscribe, that'd be great. We love you. Let's give them a wave. That's what we need to do. We need a wave for the camera, the thumbnail.
Smash that like button.
Yeah. All right. See you guys. Got me